I woke up 3 o'clock this morning and I wrote what was on my mind, but also on my heart. And what I thought about at 3 o'clock this morning was that many homes in Jamaica are broken. And today, parents are present, but at the same time, absent. And that Jamaica is today filled with a lot of triggered and on-edge souls. And our nation in 2022 is suffering a love and compassion deficit. We have become so in tune with battling for what feels like scarce spoils to be comfortable and forgetting, basic human-to-human connections. And these, I believe, are the main elements that is day by day eroding the peace of this beautiful nation. Our adults are aggressive and choose badness in testy situations. Gunmen are indiscriminate about who they shoot. At that football match in St. Catherine recently, young and old had to run for their lives as gunmen sprayed them with bullets. And our schools are fast becoming war zones. In recent months, 2 of our future leaders have been stabbed to death. At Edwin Allen in March, a young student leader known for being an amazing baller was stabbed to death over what appears to be a guard ring. Another is facing the consequences of killing his peer. And then last Thursday, a lot of us were left baffled as we watched clips of a chilling attack at Kingston Technical High School when a female student ambushed another and stabbed her in the neck with a knife. And she bled out on the school's campus, and she died. Michonne Campbell is gone, and yesterday, a 17-year-old was charged with murder and faces the possibility now of many, many years in prison. Lives and futures gone in an instant. Right across this island, listeners, so quickly lives are being dusted. We don't know how to feel anymore in Jamaica. Many of us are holding ourselves together like it's okay, but we're not okay. When Peter Bunting asked for divine intervention, some people laughed. But this country I call home is in need of prayer. There's this need for people to be mentally realigned and our children re-socialized. The good in us has been uprooted, and many of us are empty shells void of compassion who will snap and kill you over the simplest of things. We need back LOVE, love in Jamaica. We need back functioning homes in Jamaica. We need short-term crime fighting measures that you spoke to Ricardo in Jamaica. Because Jamaica is seriously losing its way. I don't know if the Prime Minister is listening this morning, or anybody in cabinet or parliament. Ricardo, I sat in production meeting yesterday, talking, and Sir Clift asked a meeting of about 10 people, do you feel scared in Jamaica? Only 2 people said no. Everybody else said yes. After people were done telling why, Sir Cliff said it was a pity he wasn't recording. And I hope at some point there will be some sort of nationwide team live focus group on crime and violence in Jamaica. If you're listening, my colleagues said when they're at the traffic lights or in traffic and they hear bikes, they immediately panic. Or they're triggered because bikers have robbed and shot people dead in traffic. Those who take public transportation say they try to sit at the seat closest to the door and avoid 7-seat taxis because gunmen shoot up public transport vehicles. So if something happens, they'll be able to open the door very quickly and activate what I heard them saying was a drop and roll technique. At gas stations, they're watching their backs at all times. Because what? People get robbed and shot at gas stations. One person said they went to pump gas, saw a biker who didn't look like he was doing anything, and she drove off because she wasn't sure what would happen next. She drove off without pumping gas she needed. The women say in the streets, it is always safe to walk like you know the streets. Act a little rough. Because you might become a target if you quote unquote look soft. When catcalled, they say no matter what the men say, they smile and say thanks or big up yourself or something similar to that to prevent a risky situation. None of this is normal. We're in a constant unhealthy state of fight or flight. You, me, us. We're not a target, but we feel as if we're being targeted. I don't want to die young by a stray bullet. The other day we spoke about staying young forever, and I say I want to age. I want to die old in my bed. That's how I'd like to die in Jamaica. It is difficult for me to embrace a prosperous Jamaica when we daily don't feel safe. I some time ago spoke to the need for a great reset in Jamaica. I strongly believe there is a need for government-led campaign that focuses on the home. There's a need to target parenting and family life at home. Because to my mind, the breakdown leading to a lot of problems in school and country is coming from home. How can the government, private sector, civil society, us here in media, come together to target homes, rebuilding family life and community spirit in Jamaica? Over the years, there have been programs, but I believe the programs are scattered and isolated, and the national effect is many times missed. The approach to restore the home in Jamaica cannot be done in pockets. It needs to be an all-hands-on-deck, sustained campaign. How can we use our school administrators to identify at-risk homes that need sustained intervention? Can we train Jamaicans without a job to help with the duties of social work? We've trained electoral officers and census takers. Jamaica doesn't have enough social workers, but through some fast-track program, perhaps we can train persons to carry out the duties of working along with parents and restoring broken homes. The reality of today is that parents need help parenting. And we can sit aside and watch things deteriorate, or we can work to minimize the long-term effects of broken homes. We have homes in Jamaica filled with trauma, abuse, absent-minded parents, girls being forced to grow up too quickly, and boys left to be recruited by the streets and its criminal elements. They should be in school, and when they aren't, they should be in a space to be positively engaged. And when at home, through a targeted campaign perhaps, households must begin to feel like home. In the homes at risk, parents must be taught proper conflict resolution skills. You can't argue and attack people during disagreements and expect your child to do any better. You are only bringing up a child who will reflect all your bad actions. Because children truly live what they learn. You can't acid the woman who is sleeping with your man. It's telling your child that this is what you do in a situation like that. The authorities cannot fix to what is going on now from the outside looking on a small scale. We have to pump the resources into getting inside the homes. We have to restore homes and re-socialize parents. If we're serious about restoring the consciousness of our people, we must get through the doors of broken homes across this country. The future of this nation depends on reversing the attitudes of our people and helping struggling households. Importantly as well, we have to settle on short-term measures to cripple crime in Jamaica. I take note of a few, the Firearms Act and monthly operations by the police. But we must do more and do more quickly. Jamaica has so much, Ricardo listeners, Jermaine, Cara, whomever else is listening, that is precious and beautiful about it. But the price on that beauty will continue to lose its value if we aren't clinical now about fixing the very few but massive things that are wrong with Jamaica. Broken homes, attitudes and values, poor conflict resolution, gun violence. I sat in the early hours of this new day as I was singing, and a song came to my mind that perfectly reflects how I feel about the state of affairs in Jamaica. And as I close WOMM, What's on My Mind, I leave you with that in hopes that you too will find yourselves in a reflective mood this morning.